Just 11 years earlier, Wimbledon had been a non-league team. Now they stood between Liverpool and the double. The Crazy Gang began hostilities in the tunnel.
We were sort of looking across at them to sort of, see their reactions to that. They wouldn't look us in the eye, they were looking down, they were bouncing the ball, the football's about. They would do anything but look us in the eye, and all of a sudden, a shout went up and, let's get into them. And you could see them think, there's something going to happen here today. At that moment, we could see the fear come into their eyes.
No, it's just the Wimbledon lads, the way they are, the way trying to seg us out or whatever. But no, we just laughed it off. No. We're too long in the tooth for that, really.
I don't think that any footballer is really going to be afraid of another footballer because he's shouting or headbutting the wall or anything like that, particularly a team as accomplished as Liverpool was and is. So, we don't get I don't think any team is really intimidated by that. If a team's intimidated by that, there's a fault in that team.
He's walking very quickly. I turned to him and said, Kenny, would you mind slowing this walk down? I said, because I am with a poor team. I might not ever come back to Wembley as a manager, and I want to make this walk last as long as possible till we get over to the introduction to Princess Di. And he looked at me and he smiled, and we slowed the walk down.
And going through and introducing her to all the lads, and it's always one of those things. What did she say? I said, well, she did ask me for a date, but I couldn't do it at the time.
Look at this, Beardsley through. Yes, he was caught. Wessel's gone. The referee will have to pull it back. He's already given the foul by Andy Thorne. Beardsley distressed because he thought with an advantage played, well, it would have been a goal, wouldn't it? And Wimbledon may well thrive on a free kick in this position. Wise will obviously take it. Sanchez caught Young and Fashanu in there. And Sanchez was in there. A goal for Wimbledon. Lawrie Sanchez.
We were 1-0 up all of a sudden. Think, bloody hell, we're leading the cup final. I remember talking to Corky afterwards on the bus back to the hotel. He said, your celebration was crap. All the pictures you see of me celebrating, I've got this Dennis Wise clung to me, his legs up around my waist and that, and his back of his head covering my face, so there aren't too many good pictures of me celebrating.
There is Aldridge, Beardsley, well, he might score here. Penalty. Good year on Aldridge. Wimbledon protest at the decision, and here we have high drama because Aldridge is the penalty taker, and never has a penalty been missed in the FA Cup final at Wembley.
The lad done a great tackle. I fell over his legs, to be fair. I'd just gone over. And I was very surprised to see the referee give a penalty because it wasn't a penalty.
The players have been fairly abusive to him. Sledging, I think Australians call it. Swearing and you're going to miss, and look at all these people you're going to miss in front of, and you're going, Ian Rush is coming back and all that. So, just the usual banter.
I felt that if the keeper stood still, then he'd put it to my left, and I'd seen him do that.
Messi thinks the kick might go to his left or the right as we look if Aldridge decides to go the same way as in the semi-final. He did, and he saved it and made history.
I think it was a matter of just having a few drinks and trying to forget about it, personally, which worked till the next morning. Then you got to face up to it again. And personally, I took a lot on my shoulders when I look back on it, for quite a long time.
The Crazy Gang have beaten the Culture Club. One of the great cut shots of all time.
I suppose my son says to me, Dad, what did you ever do in your career? You can say, well, I scored a winning goal in the cup final.
We won the cup